Book study. I'm going to talk today about the butterfly because apparently I love butterflies because I have some in my family and I have lots of friend butterflies. And I know we have some butterfly peeps here in the Loving Your Home Club. So butterflies are just amazing people because they're just so creative for the most part, and they're like, their minds are always going, and that just fascinates me. They're always like on to the next thing, and that's a good thing too. So I do want to dive into this. I love how the book is set up with pictures to give you ideas, but also it's like here, if you're a butterfly, and then, or if you're not a butterfly, but you either are working with or you live with a butterfly, which would be my case. I do have some similarities with butterflies though. I'm a little butterfly myself. She just reminds you, butterfly friends, that you like to have very simple organizing solutions and very visual, which quick and easy, so that way you can just move on with life and get on to the next thing, because organizing something in a very detailed way is so not your jam. You're like, okay, there's more important things that I want to do. In fact, you can't even probably, as you're putting something away, you're on to the next thing. You've even forgotten, like, what am I doing? What am I putting away? So detailed organizing does not work for you, and I say embrace that. Embrace that and be who you are. I love it. So I'm just going to read in here. So this is on page 56 if you're following along. So when you're done using something, your amazing brain is already on to the next thing, and it's going to stop and think about it is not going to stop and think about how to put something away. I need glasses. If something is hard or complicated to put away, you won't do it. It's not that you can't do it. It's just that it is not a priority. So therefore, it's something that doesn't even occur to you. You're like, that's just not part of like my life. I don't need to be so detail oriented. So, and again, I think that's wonderful. I love that. And she gives an example of one of her little clients, but the butterfly breakdown here. A butterfly is a very visual person who likes to see all their belongings for fear of out of sight, out of mind, which is also the bee like me. Creative, carefree, fun-loving. Those are some very common traits for butterflies. No wonder I love butterflies. They're great people. You're probably a butterfly if you have clothing on top of your dresser and on the floor, but your closet drawers are practically empty. A butterfly focuses on the big picture rather than small details in life, and butterflies prefer to have their items on display, even if subconsciously, rather than formally, instead of being hidden in drawers and behind closed doors. You have lots of strengths, butterfly strengths. I mean, you're very intuitive, you may be empathetic, creative. Those are some seriously amazing strengths that a lot of people envy. You're all over the place, which is not necessarily, don't let anybody tell you that's a bad thing. So you want bins. Oh, she even says bins, and more bins. Use big bins to just throw things in, and labels. So you can read a little bit more about that. What I'm most curious about, or what I zoomed in on, was living with and working with a butterfly, because that's the situation that I would be in. And I like how she said there's really only three options if you are, I can't find it here, if you are working with or live with a butterfly. One option is to just deal with the mess, have a messy home. Or two is to you handle all the mess, just take care of the mess. Or three is to create butterfly-friendly solutions to handle the mess. I'm like, yeah, I guess, so compromise, no judgment. It is much easier for someone who is detail-oriented to be a little less detailed than it is for someone who cannot organize to learn how to do that. It's so much easier for you, I'm saying you, I say me because I'm detail organized. It's easier for me to just chill out a bit and not be quite as ridiculously organized as sometimes I want to be, than it is for me to expect my son or my sister, or my son or my daughter to get real micro-organized. And I also know that sometimes if I want them to be micro-organized, I'll just focus in on the organizing itself and it'll be organized. But then when they they're not going to put it, they're not going to use that system. They're not going to put it away. They don't want to do that. What did I highlight here? So as a person living with or working with a butterfly, the most important thing you can do is just understand where they're coming from. Just know that the idea of an organized home, the concept of it, is like kind of defeating for them because their brain doesn't work that way. They can be organized, but they organize in a very visual, very simplistic organizing style. So no details, and that is amazing. So she's got macro magic, and it is magic to organize in big categories because you can move on with your life so much faster. I think it really is magic, and I used to organize for people and do it in the way I did it, in very detailed. It didn't last for them. Then they were a mess afterwards because I didn't set up a system that worked for their macro brain, for the way that they naturally work. So embrace who you are, butterflies, because you are creative and amazing and intuitive and beautiful and all those things. And your house doesn't have to be messy. If you feel like your house is a mess and you live with lots of butterflies, it doesn't have to be messy. You just take the time on the front end to create systems that work for the butterfly brain. So dig into the book. She gives you some examples on how to do that. Basically just big bins. And don't worry with no lids. Don't worry about all the little details. Don't worry about the details and the perfectionism. And drop the perfectionism if you have that. And there are, let's talk about that. There are butterflies, lots of butterflies, who are perfectionists. So, I'm wondering now maybe if Rob's more of a butterfly than a bee. Anyway, so you get hung up on the perfectionism and you're afraid you're not going to do it correctly or the right way, or you're like, well, I see everybody else doing it this very detailed way, so then you just don't do anything. You don't set the systems up, and that is not a good idea. Drop your perfectionism and allow yourself to be who you are and stop judging yourself and do the very simple organizing systems where you just like literally, who needs to fold their underwear? I fold my underwear. But if you're a butterfly, you don't want to fold your underwear. Throw them inside a bin. You don't even have to put them in a dresser. Put them inside a little bin with no lid on it. Throw them in there. Ta-da, you're done. Okay. Tell me what you think about the butterfly. If you are a butterfly, tell me what you think about this. I would love to have a conversation about the butterflies, and I'll just do another video about the other styles later.